Good afternoon. This is Mike Archuleta.
Nice to meet you, Mike. Thanks for taking some time today. I'm Alex Pitigoi. I know I've read your bio and we're familiar with each other a little bit, connected on LinkedIn, but I wanted to dive right into it if that's okay with you. I want to keep this short and be respectful of your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to, if you don't mind, give me a quick little brief intro on how the podcast is going to work. I think that'd be great.
Sure. So we're going to follow the agenda. We are being recorded as you've previously been introduced to, and really keep it casual. I'd like to get to know you. Hopefully this gleans some information for you about yourself as well. Just a reflection of some time in the technology sector, and you can share as openly as you like, or essentially keep to the questions that I'll address shortly. So
that sounds excellent.
Great. I've read your bio obviously on LinkedIn and personally. So congrats on being recognized as a rising star in the healthcare tech sector. But sometimes those things are dry. So I'd appreciate if you'd add a little more color and share a bit about yourself personally.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure doing these podcasts. And again, my name is Michael Archuleta. I'm the Chief Information Officer with Mt. Raphael Hospital. We've just had a phenomenal overall process when it comes to digital transformation. I mean, with myself, being involved in a lot of transformational initiatives has been one of the most amazing things to really see. We've gone from being a non-focused technology organization to a fully innovative focus on IT as a core component to the overall organizational success type of organization. I think that's such a critical component. And myself, I've been honored with so many recognitions, from top 100 CIOs to know, to our facility being a 5-time Most Wired winner, which is a top national recognized healthcare IT award given to the top facilities making the most progress of health IT. There's been a lot of amazing things, but I also have amazing team members. I also have a lot of amazing business partners, and it really it takes all of us to really create these strong initiatives moving forward.
Perfect. And could you share 2 notes of wisdom in your area of expertise? It could be healthcare IT specific, it can be technological or business professional.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is what I always like saying, and this is my focus in 2021, because we know that the acceleration of digital transformation is here. Ladies and gentlemen, the acceleration of digital transformation is here. We know that. The problem has been, though, is that the healthcare industry has been one of those industries that have been behind the curve when it comes to technology advancements. How are we basically doing this? And again, I always say that incorporating IT as a core component to the overall organizational strategy is not a technology makeover, but an actual business revolution. And IT acts as an actual ticket taker versus a value maker. And again, we can no longer be considered a cost center, but a strategic revenue contributor. That is a critical element, strategic revenue contributor. And in the end, too, is tell the Flintstones to meet the Jetsons. That's what I always say. Tell the Flintstones to meet the Jetsons, because we are truly living in the digital age of healthcare. We are living in the digital age of healthcare. We need to move away from the brick and mortar theology and really incorporate that overall focus of digital transformation, digital initiatives, digital understanding. Hospitals and clinics are digital companies that deliver healthcare services. Those are critical elements.
Very much agreed, especially in these recent times. Lots of major lessons learned, I think, globally. Would you share something that you've learned this year, and it's a special year, obviously, this one and the last, that significantly changed your outlook and specifically or possibly your organization?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I stated, the acceleration of digital transformation is definitely here. And we've seen the mass adoption of telecommunicating being one of the most explosive changes to really occur due to COVID-19. And, COVID-19 has also shed some light on that this crisis has fully displayed the value of IT and digital transformation. And out of every crisis, new opportunity arises. And telehealth has been a key tool that allowed us to continue to provide efficient care for our patients. Because in the end, I always basically state that I have a new CEO. Well, you may ask, who is your new CEO? My new CEO is the patient. And that's basically the bottom line. The patient is your new CEO. And we must continue to build strong asynchronous tools that benefit our patients both inside and outside of our organizations. And telehealth and telecommunicating applications, as again, has been one of those massive explosions to really happen. And even the volume of telehealth consults have gone several multiples since the overall pandemic struck. And again, we're starting to see a lot of these healthcare organizations really intensifying their focus on strategically planning for a digital future and really preparing themselves to be ready to launch new initiatives, especially once this overall crisis passes. And honestly, if we can take the experience gained from this unique challenge, we can evolve our practices and continue to invest in the digital initiatives that we basically need moving forward. And that is such an important aspect in order for us to basically create success. Because again, as I stated, we need to remove the overall brick and mortar theology within the healthcare industry. We're a digital company. We need to act like a digital company. We need to incorporate technology as a core component to your overall organizational strategy. We need to realize that IT can no longer just be that group of saying, hey, I'm just taking tickets, but we're actual value makers. And as I stated in my statement, that IT, digital transformation, has been one of those specific items that we've seen a lot of benefits in regards to. Because once COVID-19 hit, we started sending people home. You really have to ask yourself is your home in order? Did you have the foundation built to continue to create efficient and effective outcome with technology initiatives? So again, COVID-19 hit. We're sending people home. Do you have the technology to basically send people home? Do you have the cybersecurity initiatives to send people home securely and safely? Do you have the overall infrastructure in place to basically spin up the very first telehealth clinics? Is your home in order? And basically, we were very successful with our initiatives that we were basically able to accomplish because our home was in order. The foundation, the strong infrastructures that we basically built allowed us to seamlessly send our people home, to make sure we're keeping cybersecurity as a top initiative within our overall process. Incorporating two-factor authentication, incorporating strong VPN access between site to site. I mean, really incorporating that overall identification management process within our telehealth initiatives and really making sure that we have that strong infrastructure, that connectivity in place to allow us to basically continue to basically provide better, efficient care for our patients. That's why I say continuing to build asynchronous tools that benefit patients both inside and outside of an organization is critical to your success.
Absolutely. And I think everything's been accelerated by 2020. I'm glad to hear that you pivoted quite quickly because of your foundation in place. Now, without naming names, this is a curiosity question here. Is there a particular technology application or a technology IT process that really saved you your skin or your ability to sleep this past year? If you can share without brand names, whatever you can, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. You know, this is the problem when we're living the time we're living in now. We are living in the attacks of opportunity era. The attacks of opportunity. Even when COVID-19 was basically hitting, hacks, breaches were still continuing to basically happen to one of the most attacked sectors out there, which is the healthcare industry. That is becoming a major, major problem moving forward. And a lot of issues too is these organizations aren't really practicing their security hygiene, just like their overall hand washing hygiene. We really need to continue to focus on that. Healthcare organizations need to practice their security hygiene, just like hand washing, and continuing to incorporate cybersecurity as that core component. That is such a critical item in order for us to basically create success. And regardless of the size of the healthcare organization, IT readiness and strong cybersecurity hygiene will be essential for the healthcare industry to basically survive. I mean, we've seen some of the largest hacks out there. I mean, look at UHS, for example. You know, potentially the largest in US history, really targeting COVID and really showing that, ladies and gentlemen, the healthcare industry has a major problem, has a massive problem, and that is they do not incorporate cybersecurity as that top priority in creating outcomes. That is an actual issue too. And then when we look at some of these problems and we look at some of these attack sectors too, they're focusing a lot on medical devices. And see, that is a problem right now. Medical device, the HIOT of your environment, because 83% of healthcare systems are still running on outdated software and unsupported operating systems, such as Windows 7 and Windows XP, which leaves a lot of the devices very vulnerable to hackers actively exploiting COVID-19. And today, 16% of imaging systems are at a 51% risk of getting hacked. And there is a 26% chance that 14% of patient monitoring tools will get attacked. And that 27% of medical devices are still running Windows XP or decommissioned versions of Linux OS. And the number of stolen medical records has really increased by 65%, which focuses and it impacts 40 million American lives. And this is what I always state too, and here's another word of wisdom. We need to remember that cybersecurity isn't just about data security. It is also a matter of life and death. And that is a critical element. And like myself, we were able to develop a very, very strong overall Hawkeye view within our environment, working with an innovative startup group that allowed us to basically see all of our medical devices in our environment, have an overall executive dashboard that shows all of the specific Internet of Things, all the specific issues, any type of high risks, medium risks, low risks. That was critical to our success because organizations need to have accurate numbers of HIOT devices that are connected to your overall network, which again leads to a more well-rounded understanding of the associated risk and gives you really more of that wholesome perspective of the environment within your overall cybersecurity strategy. And if you can successfully execute an intelligent security strategy, which I like to call the Hawkeye view of your environment, this will allow your organization to actively determine any openly exposed device which would assist in a planned development to ensure mitigation of the risk within your environment. And that is a critical component, having that overall view, determining what needs to happen, seeing what you actually have. And as I stated, I gave you those numbers that 83% of healthcare systems are running still on outdated software. This is really scary because at times, this is an easy way of breaching your organization. And that's why when I speak to my board of directors, I basically look at three things. I look at FOR, meaning what would happen on a financial level if a breach happened? What would happen on an operational level if a breach happened? And what would happen on a reputational level if a breach happened? Those are critical components in basically continuing to sell the importance of what cybersecurity investments bring into your organization. That is important in order for us to have better night's rest, better ways of making sure that we're coming back into the office the next day, reducing breaches within the organization, creating successful outcomes, having that overall focus within your org. And
feeling appreciated for it as well.
Absolutely.
It's a tough job, I know. Well, we've spoken about recent challenges, but if you could, would you also share the biggest challenge of your entire professional career? And with what takeaways would you say you were able to walk away?
Absolutely. So I think we recently built a new facility within our organization. And this facility is absolutely amazing because we incorporated a lot of technology initiatives. And this is what I always say too, especially on a massive career standpoint, because you figure this is from brand new constructions to brand new innovations to brand new technology to brand new cybersecurity initiatives. But moving forward into 2021, capturing value from IT infrastructure innovation represents our only chance of meeting patient expectations and business demands, because we know that innovation is a critical part of the mandate for enterprise infrastructure functions. And that is such an important focus on innovating the logistics that it takes in order for innovation to happen, the logistics that it takes in order for an organization to operate efficiently and effectively. I mean, we design new cloud-based initiatives. We've designed new IDF locations. We incorporated more zero clients within our environment. Even just by adding virtualization efforts, we were able to basically reduce costs by 56%. 56%, which again really focuses and increases business productivity, operational efficiencies, and really enhances services while reducing operating expenses, was a critical component. We were utilizing technology to help reduce costs. We were utilizing technology to bring better outcomes to our patients. We were having telehealth, robotic visits. We were incorporating our overall executive dashboard, looking at the entire environment. We were incorporating digital nurse boards within our overall patient wings, incorporating specific data coming in from the electronic medical record system, going to the care boards, creating a better patient-centric initiative that really focuses on better patient care. We were putting in zero clients throughout the entire organization. We were adding in single sign-on and two-factor authentication. We were adding in strong initiatives. And again, this all coming together was an amazing thing. One of the most successful outcomes that I've done within my actual career, because of seeing how beautiful the new facility is, how efficient the new facility is, how secure the new facility is, was an amazing thing. And this is another word of wisdom I like to add to, is that the outcome of our new hospital renovation is about GSD. And people always ask me, Mike, you're very active on social media, and I always see you tagging hashtag GSD. What does that mean? I said, okay. I said, there's two types of people. There's people that lead by actions, and there's people that basically speak words. And that's a big difference. There's people that actually do it, and there's people that just talk it. You have to walk the walk and talk the talk. And the overall outcomes of the new hospital renovation was about getting shit done, GSD. Because in the end, make it hard to spot the general by working like a soldier, because good leaders lead by actions and not by words. And that's basically the bottom line and the overall success into the end of 2020, coming into 2021.
Well, it sounds as a prolific user of social media, you do both, so that's positive. As an inflection point, do you have a particular incredible moment or a realization that served as a career game changer insofar? And how do you feel that led to your success? And perhaps it happened right away, or perhaps it took some time. If you could share details around that, that would be great.
You know, I think the evolution of the healthcare CIO, especially in the healthcare industry, has been one of those evolutions that have really taken transformational CIOs like myself into, you know, more of a productive role within our organization. Because when you look at the overall evolution of the CIO, I always say, from crawling to walking upright to really carrying the organization. I think when before a lot of this digital transformation, the Affordable Care Act, the electronic medical record systems all really came into place. I mean, you know, you had your basic tech manager. Your tech manager was just focusing on IT operations. You know, it was really more of an advisor role. Then you started kind of moving over what I like to call the CIO 1.0, which was more of a supportive role. You know, these individuals they were problem managers, they were skill managers, they were project managers. Then you moved over to the CIO 1.5, which is an enabler's role. You know, they knew how to interpret technology. They had process visionaries. They were process consultants, financial analysis. I mean, they were educators, they were lobbyists. But again, right at that 1.5 and jumping over to the CIO 2.0, which I call the transformational CIO, that's been the massive jump. The CIO 2.0, the transformational CIO, which I consider a driver's role. This individual is a political visionary. He's a venture capitalist. He's a customer service. He focuses on customer service initiatives. He's an innovator. He's an economist. He's a risk manager. He's a service broker. And again, as I stated, from crawling to walking upright to carrying the organization, your transformational CIO is truly a business leader incorporating technology in a digital company and enhancing initiatives that allow us to produce better patient care is such a critical component in order to create success. And again, if you are that transformational CIO, you've really moved up the overall process of your overall career. And you've seen the jump of what technology has basically allowed you to do if you took it by the horns and you moved forward with it. And again, as I stated, there's two different types of people. There's your GSDers and then there's your talkers. And to become that transformational CIO, you got to truly get shit done. And that's the bottom line.
Thanks, Michael. And of course, career success is crucial and rewarding indeed. I am curious, though, what excites you personally during these sometimes limited, other times were quarantine days? Feel free to share how you've grown personally, ancillary to the career trajectory.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I continue to learn. I think if we stop learning, then what do we have? You know, each day there is a new challenge or new opportunities again, to continue learning. And I love technology and enable secure solutions for our patients. And that's such a critical component moving forward because I love learning, continuing to focus on different initiatives. I actually just did a master's class with Columbia University on digital transformation and cybersecurity. One of the two of the most important things out there right now. But again, it's about that including, that mentoring, that learning, that ability to want to continue to learn, that ability to think outside the box is such a critical component. And to have a seat at the table to bring your expressions, your details, that's really important moving forward. And it's, again, it has been a phenomenal journey. It has been a crazy journey. And I am a Latinx, so there's really a Spanish word that I always include in my overall discussions. And that's adelante, which means forward. I always say that learning, coming together, we really need to move adelante. Let us move adelante and together to continue to transform and innovate our overall industry. That is such a critical component to create success. Let's move adelante. Let's move forward.
I like that positive attitude. If we can have a little bit of reflection time and reflect on your overall mentoring and mentor journey, would you share what is the best advice you have ever received? And it could have started from kindergarten or it could have been recent, of course, in your career.
You know, the best thing too is if you want something, go get it. You know, no one is going to give you anything. And to get something, it takes dedication, it takes hard work, it takes commitment, you know, and this is what I always say too is don't be that CIO that just sits in front of your overall desk. Learn, get out there, be a go-getter, innovate, focus, transform, you know, have that overall GSD mentality and focus to get things done successfully. Because again, as I stated, that no one gives you success. No one does. No one gives you anything. You have to work hard and you have to get it yourself. And that is why I always say I am part of the GSD community because we continue to GSD with every single thing we have. And we use that high motivation, that high energy to continue to create successful outcomes. And that's why we're still standing. That's why we're still a very innovative company. We've been recognized by many different organizations, and we've had highly recognized healthcare IT awards because they've recognized the strong push towards truly transforming our organization and the industry itself.
Well, speaking of outcomes, we all get to where we are with a little help along the way. Could you share what mentor has recently impacted your life and how did that occur?
You know, I've had some phenomenal mentors in my life, and one of my mentors, his name is Ed Marks. My other mentor's name is Guillermo Diaz. Both two phenomenal CIOs. I mean, one being a phenomenal CIO on the healthcare side, and one being a phenomenal CIO on the big tech side. Guillermo was the first Hispanic CIO for Cisco Systems, which is, everyone knows who Cisco is. He's been an inspiration to myself on really moving forward, changing the industry, you know, bringing the ideas in place and seeing more Latinx really come up to these overall STEM programs, which I think is extremely critical. And Ed has been one of those phenomenal individuals. I mean, he's a writer, he's a blogger, he comes out with interviews. He was a CIO for Cleveland Clinic. I mean, phenomenal individual, very inspirational. Um, and I think you really need those type of individuals in your corner to really look up to really see these are two phenomenal people that have really that you would really love to model after, really love to mimic after as well. So I've been very fortunate to be acquaintance with them and to call them friends as well. And I say every individual coming up the ranks, you know, high focus, high energy, GSD mentality needs a strong mentor in place, because in the end, this is a very challenging industry. This is a very challenging position. It's a very exhausting position too. So you have to learn how to have specific balance within work and home life too, which is extremely critical. And having those mentors in place that have that experience. I mean, we always hear that, you know, the older I get, the more wisdom I obtain. And that is such a critical component. Just surround yourself with people that have more experience, more wisdom than you, that you could really absorb and really learn from, which is really critical to my overall success too.
The question that I would have, speaking of avoiding burnout, it's a sensitive topic and a prolific topic in IT specifically. What one daily habit most contributes to your success during your professional day?
I have to go to the gym every day after work. It is a must. I do a lot of weight training. I love getting the frustration out on the overall bench press, on the curls, on really working out, running. You know, I think staying active, staying healthy, it really focuses and just keeps your overall mind focused, keeps your body focused, and it allows you to, you know, create healthy outcomes of reducing stress, which is really important. Because I always say too, is that you have to find something in place that allows you to reduce your stress. And that is a really important thing. You know, find something. Is that running? Is that working out? Is that swimming? I was also, back in my youth days, I was an amateur boxer, you know, so coming into the gym, doing some rounds, hitting, you know, the overall punching bag, hitting, you know, the speed bag, really focusing on technique, speed, coordination, focus. That allows me to reduce that overall stress. And again, you know, find an outlet, find a healthy outlet that allows you to do that. Because this overall field, the overall process, it does get very tiresome. And you really have to have a healthy outlet to help reduce and help balance your overall focus, yourself. Because in the end, it's really important that you take care of yourself. And that's the number one most focus right there. So definitely find that outlet to express that.
Thanks, Michael. It sounds like you found positive outlets all around. But to that end, what do you recommend to listeners who want to do what you do? What is their career path? Would you consider the path being traditional or niche? Would you recommend the way that you've gone about promotionally, really, one title to another? Or would you recommend that they do things differently than you have and perhaps still achieve success?
You know, this is what I always say is it is definitely critical, again, to find a mentor, to find an overall, we like to call them executive coaches, that really help you learn how to balance your overall focus. Because I mean, when you're coming up the ranks, you're going 100 miles an hour, you're GSDing throughout everything that you basically do. You create a lot of successful outcomes. There's still a lot of stress that's basically involved in it. You really have to learn how to balance your home and your professional life. And again, that was very difficult for me because I always had that mentality of GSDing through day one, and coming up the overall ranks, which was really important to my focus. I mean, because I was one of those kids that I grew up in the projects in government assistance home as a kid. I was the first one to graduate college in my family. And I had that strong grit mentality that I want to become something. I want to do something. I want to change my overall aspect. So I hit the ground running, 100 miles an hour, moved up the ranks, have been really recognized towards a lot of different initiatives. We've done an amazing things, and it shows. And as I always state, is I've been that leader that says, you know, I am the leader that leads by actions and not words. I'm in the trenches with my overall people. I'm one of those individuals that say that make it make it hard to spot the actual general by truly working like an actual soldier. That's what really brings a big difference to your overall aspect. But again, if I could do something a little bit more efficient and effective, that would be a little bit more of that home and work balance, which is extremely critical. And now, since I've aged, gotten a little older, and I've really learned the importance of doing that. So again, if anyone's listening, learn to focus home and your professional life, because that is a critical component to being very successful moving forward.
And to that end, for life balance or career progression, what website, application, or even a business tool would you recommend to our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of different type of groups out there that would help with professional initiatives. I mean, look for a membership group that that you're working on. What specific industry are you working on? For example, the healthcare industry. We have a phenomenal membership program with a College of Healthcare Information Management Executives. Chime is one of those amazing groups that focuses on career improvements, allows you to do mentoring, allows you to do overall educational processes, keeps you updated and going in the overall healthcare sector itself. It puts you with your peers and your colleagues to learn from one another. So again, go and look for an outlet that is focused on that industry. And again, Chime has been one of those amazing organizations to myself, to many thousands of people out there too, that have had success with that group, from mentoring to speaking to peer-to-peer to forums to college lives to educational sessions. They also have the CIO, which is a certification for a healthcare CIO to basically pursue. So there's a lot of awesome opportunities out there, but definitely do get recognized towards those specific type of industries that really help develop yourself, which is really important.
Thank you, Michael. And what would you do if you had to go back in time and entirely switch careers?
That's really it's really a hard thing to say, because I'm one of those individuals that loves GSDing. And I mean, I might have been involved in a lot more startup initiatives if the times were changed a little. But again, as CIO and as advisory board members to many phenomenal healthcare startups, from cybersecurity to analytics to artificial intelligence, I've had the opportunity to really just be involved in multiple items. And I think, if things would have changed, I would have definitely been focused on something technology-wise, because it's always been a passion of mine, and I always will continue to have that passion. And the healthcare industry has been one of those items that you're truly making a difference. You're truly improving the most important thing, and that's patient care. And that's how has always been my number one goal. How do I continue to improve patient care with the utilization of technology? How do I save people's lives with technology? That is such an important aspect compared to all the other industries out there moving forward.
Thank you, Michael. You're doing very important work, and thank you so much for your time again today. Could we wrap up with your final note of wisdom and the best way that listeners can stay in touch with you?
Absolutely. So again, I am very active on social media. You can find me on LinkedIn. I am on Twitter as well. So it's at Michael, Michael, 81082. That's my Twitter handle. And you can find me on LinkedIn as well. Please add me. Love to always have some good synergy with potential amazing individuals. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it's truly about GSDing. Have that overall focus. Have that overall mentality. Let us come together. Let us come together and move adelante, move forward to truly transform our organization. And that is the most important thing, to really learn from the different initiatives that we've been able to accomplish has been a phenomenal thing. But again, have that mentality, have that drive. Let's all come together. Let's transform our industry. Let's get shit done. And let's really rock 2021. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you for coming to the CIO show with Alex Pitigoi today, Michael. It's really, truly been a pleasure. Hope to discuss more technology information very, very soon with you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Have a great day.
You too.